Bottenberg couldn't quite deal with the pace of Paul, who is back on this stage 30 years since his last appearance. The only man to ever hit a 9-dart leg here. And we will continue to labour the point how special a player, how special a moment it is. He comes up against a debutant in Jason Brandon, a relative pup at 49 years old. But make no mistake, he has proven he can play, and he's proven he's got the bottle, because after comfortable 3-0 successes against Hannah Schneer and Sibren Hybels, Brandon went 3-0 up against the former champion Neil Duff. He had a match dart to make it 4-0. We know that Neil doesn't make it easy for himself or his opponents, and when he roared back to take the tie to 3 apiece, you'd be forgiven for thinking Brandon would panic. But a mega show-stopping 148 checkout broke the throw, and then he held in 20 darts to secure his place in the semi-finals. Scott Mitchell alongside me for the final game this evening, and Scott, we could be in for an incredibly special night.
Yeah, we really could. Paul Lim has rolled back the years, for want of another word. It's used very often with the older generation. I did tweet out that he was 71. He is a month off of being 71. So I do apologise for one or two that did put me right on social media. But I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a very tactical game. I think some of it is going to be how well Paul Lim has recovered from that late game last night. Big matches like that, they do take time for the adrenaline to sort of slow down, and can take a couple of hours. And it all just depends on how he managed to get himself prepared for today, having played already today.
Look, some people scoff at the idea that there is an endurance element to dart. They'll think, no, you're just standing there throwing. But to be on your feet for so long, to have to concentrate for so long, to then get back, for the adrenaline to leave your body, it is exhausting. So for Paul to be doing it at the age that he is, you have to tip your hat off.
Yeah, I've recently had a Fitbit as a watch, and you'll be so very surprised how many, a regular tournament, how many steps and miles that you walk. But it's not just about the physicality of it, it's about the mental side of things as well. Your mind gets tired. But that's a good opening 76 for Jason Brandon.
Jason's MO this tournament has been lethal finishing. He does have his unique tendencies. He's as much of a fan of treble 19 as he is treble 20, so the 171 count, 174 count is higher than most.
He's not afraid to dodge around the board, and neither player is afraid to dodge around the board. We saw a lot of Jason Brandon yesterday in the Neil Duff game, heading down to the treble 19s. And like you say, after conversations with him, we heard at the top of the show with Helen there, or top of the game, that 19s is where Jason Brandon likes to have a dig at. More likely to be throwing there than the treble 20s, but as yet he's not headed down to the 19s early doors.
He is the kind of player who will just try and score as heavily as possible and then think about the doubles when they come. He doesn't seem to plan legs in advance like we see from maybe younger players. Get as many points on or off the board as you can, and then go chasing doubles.
Yeah, indeed. Kai Van Lung, who was part of our tournament earlier in the week, has been looking after Paul Lim while he's been here.
And it was Kai who Paul defeated in round 2, so another seeded player to exit. It's a mark of how open this tournament's been, that Jason's the only seed standing, or was, in the semi-final lineup. Francois Schreyen and Shane McGurk having to enter in round 1.
Let's not forget Paul Lim was our co-commentator Lorraine Winstanley's pick to win at the draw, when the draw was made. She backed Paul Lim. Nobody's happier than her to see him still in.
Well, she's 2 games away from making a lot of people look very silly.
.120 in the board. A nice big 18 to leave tops.
I wonder who Jackie's supporting now. None of his boys and girls are left. Probably Paul. Double 16 for Jason Brandon.
I think you can hear by the noise of the crowd who their favourite is for this one. The Singapore slinger levels it up at 1-1 in the first set.
Paul's played 4 games to get to this stage. He could have played a total of 21 sets. He's played 19 of them. Now Shane McGurk has got to the final, only playing 17. We've not even had Paul's semi-final yet. Where does he get his energy? There's Kai Fan Lung. Not hiding particularly well who he's supporting.
Paul, come on, was the cry. He didn't like that loose one.
See there, Brandon making his first trip to treble 19. Start a visit. Scoring visit, that is.
We do have the biggest crowd probably of the week so far in this evening. You could tell by the walk-ons and how many people, hands they had to shake, cuddle.
Never seen a player here be asked for so many selfies, and even when the players go off for the break, Paul will walk on and people will go to the front of the stage and ask, and fair play to him, he always obliges. Be easy for him to say no because it's mid-game, he wants to focus. He's just basking in the love that Lakeside has for him. 19 or treble. Leaves the red button. Oh, and he's popped it in.
A fist pump from Lim as he gets to the board. He enjoyed that.
Jason did say in his pre-match interview with Helen that he thinks he remembers playing Paul Lim around 20 years ago. How could he forget?
Yeah, absolutely. He's Neil Duff may still be an interested watcher here. I don't believe I've seen him here today, but maybe wherever he is, he's watching, just to see if Jason Brandon performs as he did against him in the quarter-final. Quite often you'll see players watch the players that beat them in the next round, and he sat there not happy because he's not doing what he was doing to you the day before.
Well, on that basis, it seems like Kai Fan Long has completely forgotten he got beaten by Paul. Uniquely, a second World Championship meeting between the two, and in the different codes on the Lakeside stage and Ali Pali. Impressive debut display this week from Jason. Can be a case of sink or swim at Lakeside. Jason very much swimming. Good use of the ball from Paul to get down to Shanghai.
Yeah, Jason Brandon needed that last start treble to apply a little bit of something to this 120. Crowd start cheering. They can see the 120 here. It's in Paul Lim's hands.
Back for the ball.
Bit of a mess that from Brandon, wasn't it? So Lim for the set.
Well, we can't lie and say it's been a classic standard, but Paul Lim has won 3 legs. Job done for set 1. Wasn't hostile crowd that Jason faced last night. But there's no question that more were supporting Duff, and he ultimately dealt with it. It's got to be more of the same tonight.
Yeah, very much so. I think it is going to be the same. It's the way that Paul plays. The only way that Jason's just got to be careful that he doesn't slow his own throw down too much to stop that forward propulsion and forward motion speed on his arm speed, and to make sure that his darts are reaching the board in the way that they normally do. And at the moment, he seems to be doing that.
Jason, another relatively quick player who's got to acclimatise to the pace. The only methodical player that Paul's faced so far is Kai Fan Lung. And those two know each other like the backs of each other's hands. There's that treble 19 prowess on display.
Yeah, pretty much forced to go down there, being on 283, needing a double treble visit to leave a shot. You really go down there so you can get 2 or 3 stabs at the same target. There's no two ways about it. He's really developed himself a new fan club here. As Paul Lim, a new generation of fans.
Tell you who's not a fan of him right now. Jason Brandon, 4 legs on the bounce.
He's just starting to grind away at him, isn't he? Starting to frustrate Jason Brandon. It's okay throwing slow or having a slower pace than your opponent. To get right up their nose, you've got to be hitting. And this seems to be a trait of Paul Lim. Anybody can throw slow. If you're not hitting any trebles and missing your doubles, you're not harming anybody, and your opponent will still jump back in.
Two treble visit here for Paul, and then that forces the issue for Jason. Or even a 3 treble visit. Paul Lim fills it up. That man is worryingly happy about it.
He was extremely happy about it, wasn't he?
Likes this wave for 76. Wanted the treble to leave double 14, but 20 in tops.
I might change it, go that way from 76 from now on. I think it's a sensible way. I quite like it.
Very early in the piece, but first impressions always count, and Jason Brandon's first impression of playing Paul is that he's found it difficult.
Well, just to give an indication, last night Jason was running around that 92, 94 average mark, pretty much right the way through the game against Neil Duff. He's running a 83 at the moment. Mr. Lim running an 81.
We're all thinking the same.
How many times have we seen him pick up a big treble with his last dart this week? Paul Lim. He always just seems to do enough more often than not to keep his opponent under some sort of pressure. Jason Brandon can't get caught into doing here is turning it into a tactical thinking match.
It's not really his style. He strikes me as an instinctive player, but maybe Lim has that effect. This for 2-0. Dream start for Paul Lim. He has been unbelievably tough to stop this week, and Jason Brandon may become another victim. Perfect start for Paul. He leads 2-0 after winning 6 straight legs.
Welcome back to Lakeside. Welcome back to the WDF World Championship Finals. Coming to you live on Blaze TV. Well, Scott, what do you think of that so far?
Well, it's been, I thought, with Brandon winning the bull-up, he would come out and blitz the first set. That didn't happen. He blitzed the first leg, and then it started to be the Paul Lim show, and he's had a couple of darts in that first set, then that didn't happen. He's lost that. And now, second set, Brandon hasn't had a dart at anything. And Paul Lim sat there 2 sets of the good up, 6 legs on the trot, and he's just doing Paul Lim with what he's been doing all week.
He took out 84 on the bullseye, and the crowd hit the roof. But I have to be honest, if he took out double one, the crowd would hit the roof. The love for that man, not just in this room, in darts worldwide, it's incredible, isn't it?
It is, and he's a great ambassador for it. Can you ever say that you've ever seen him upset anywhere? Can you ever say that you've seen him say no to a selfie? He's been being asked this week at the most inappropriate times, and he just smiles away and goes with it. How can you not like the fella?
I say it again, he is the only slow player that I can tolerate watching. Sorry, Scott. And sorry, Justin Pike. No, I love Justin Pike. But you don't often get crowd on your side when you're a slow player. I know you're a popular guy, but people do prefer the quicker players. He could take all the time in the world, which he does, and everyone still loves it.
He's giving me hope. That's what he's doing. He's giving me hope.
You've always been popular. The other thing that we love as well is the ghost throw. That ghost throw. The ghost throw that he flings every couple of... It's part of his game. Is it now habit, or does he need it to keep his arm loose?
I think there's a bit of both. I think he's trying to get... He imagines when he's doing those ghost throws. I asked him about it, and he imagines what he's going to do with the dart when the dart's in his hand. So it's a ghost throw, but it's something that he does. He pretends he's got a dart in his hand and it's going in wherever he wants it to go.
Right.
That's the whole reason for it. We're calling it a ghost throw, but it's kind of a loosened throw, and he's visualising what that dart's going to do when he puts it in his hand.
Right, I won't ask you about his windmill last night then, when he turned up with that. We're going to take you back to the stage now and back to this smashing match.
It is a smashing match indeed. And Jason Brandon is going to have to dig himself out of a hole. The American 2 sets down after losing 6 straight legs. And the worrying thing isn't that he's missing doubles, he's got 1 from 3. It's that he's only created 3. Didn't get a single shot in the second set. There's been no real scoring power there. He's been taken out of his rhythm, which is what Paul does. Could he be the latest victim in this legendary campaign that might not be over just yet? Scott Mitchell back alongside me, and I continue to be amazed, astounded at just how relaxed and fresh he looks. Doesn't look like he's playing in a World Championship match.
No, I absolutely agree. And I know earlier on when we interviewed Shane McGirt, he said he was coming over to watch this evening. I don't think I've seen him in the crowd yet. I haven't seen him sat anywhere. But he'll be enjoying this. I think he'll be wanting the game to go on longer and longer, because he'll have more time to recover, being the first semi-final, and notoriously being in the first semi-final here is kind of an advantage for the recovery rate.
Well, if you're sat in Shane McGirt's position, you're wanting another 35 legs.
You are indeed. You're wanting a 5-4 thriller going down to the last leg decider. There will be a few trains and a few buses and a few taxis missed if that does happen.
Made a slow start to the match in leg 1, did Lim, but he soon quickly got into his groove. Maybe the same fate awaits him here.
You see Peter Machin in the crowd behind Kai Van Lung. A few players do stay around. Those guys obviously have to book for the week in anticipation that they're going to be in all week. Some of the guys who have travelled from far and wide, and girls. So Jason Brandon there thinking, 100 up on the fella. I'll be all right this leg. And up pops Paul Lim with a 177. And puts himself back in the driving seat. Jason Brandon was having a little chat to himself there behind Paul Lim.
134. Peter Machin and Michael Cassar, Australian players who have come from far and wide. Michael beaten by today's beaten semi-finalist Francois Schreien in round 1.
He's another good guy, Michael. Had some good conversations with him last year. Another chance goes begging. He hasn't had many of those as Brandon. Didn't have one at all in set 2, and here comes Mr. Lim. Tops it is. There we go. A little ghost throw again. Just imagining what he's going to do with this dart, focusing it in. Now you tell me that that doesn't work, Dan. Tell me it doesn't work. That's exactly what he's doing.
It's the Paul Lim superpower, and Jason Brandon looks like he's seen a ghost. Averages of both players very similar right now.
Shane McGurk has been located. He is in here. Sat towards the back of the room with his team who are with him.
Away from the limelight, which doesn't seem like Shane for how much of a showman he's been. I mean, if you're choosing to walk on to We Will Rock You by Queen, you're going to have an audience.
He's more than dressed down. He's in slight disguise.
No, he's not wearing a Christmas waistcoat. Jason beginning to tell himself off. Maybe beginning to understand the magnitude of the situation.
Is it a situation where he could have done with Neil Duff in his corner this evening? Out in the players' room.
Jason's got support from some of the Americans we've seen. Jeff Springer Jr., who was actually due to fly home today, but it cost him and his partner $50 to extend their flights. Bit of a no-brainer.
50 bucks, mate. 50 bucks. Yeah.
Jason Brandon needs to buck his ideas up because he's on the brink of an 8th straight leg defeat.
We know he prefers to throw a lot faster than this, Jason Brandon, so my advice to him would be to come in, stop reacting to every dart that goes wrong, try and get your pace up, and try and play your way through it.
Double 16. 4 legs in a row. He's taken his double. First attempt. Brandon pleased that he's finally managed to land a ton.
That's better. That's what I want to see him do. I want to see him do his own thing. Put his foot to the hockey. Bump, bump, bump. Get out the way. Paul takes a little more time. Don't worry about it. Let Paul come out the way. Start your process again.
79.
First 171 of the match. Won't be surprised to see that tally be higher than the 180s.
And surprisingly, just a slight ripple of applause. There wasn't a big lifting of the roof off of the building. Tops was his go-to double yesterday in his quarter-final.
The first time since the very first leg, it's a position of comfort, or it was. No, not anymore.
I'll have to take my jacket off in here, it's so warm. We got fellas still wearing their hats in the crowd. Their winter warmer hats.
And they'll be doffed if 116 goes. Paul did not like that.
The cry was no, Paul. He continues to recover the situation quietly and confidently in his own way. And once again pressures the Brandon's attempt at the double. Smiles to himself because he knows what he's done. He knows exactly how he's played this, and this will hurt. What? I think was the call to the referee.
Astonishing composure. He is now closer to the winning line than Brandon is to him. They call that the John Part Horizon. And John Part, before this tournament, was the last player to beat Lim at Lakeside.
You've got some good stats there, mate.
135.
I'm trying to put myself in Jason Brandon's shoes here as a player. I'm trying to work out what he needs to do to get himself back into this match. It's quite clear that it's not an ability issue by the time you get to a semi-final. This is clearly a massive mental issue. And Paul Lim's not oblivious to that. He knows it. He knows he's making him think. Those are not bad thrown darts, they're just not going in the desired destination. And Can't believe it's only 57. There you go. That's how packed the Lakeside is this evening.
Treated to the renaissance of this 70-year-old darting superstar. It's just not happening for the American.
And that's another leg. Then he's looking at double 10. There he is. There's our finalist. He said he would come back and have a look. And he certainly has. And what he's watching is the number 11 seed struggling when he gets to the outer ring, not knowing what to do with this man and his composure. And Jason Brandon just continues to be picked off. I was chatting with him last night and he said he's just not used to playing on the stage. He's just not used to playing in front of big crowds. He said, you put me on that board out the back on the floor there and I'll beat anybody. He said, get me 6 inches off the floor here and it seems a very different game.
Was that a half-hearted attempt at a Tennessee accent?
No.
Loves it, does Shane McGurk?
Yeah, the quiet side of Shane McGurk there. He enjoyed himself this afternoon, didn't he?
Bookmakers had Paul Lim as the 8-1 outsider at the start of play today. Have they been watching this week? Do you think it might be a case of Brandon being a little bit starstruck by the situation? Were there any times in the early parts of your career where you faced a player who was revered in the game and you were stood on the stage thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this?
I don't think I ever revered a player. I remember the first time coming out here, I revered the place. The place was so iconic. I'd been here as a fan, and I remember walking out here on my first walk-on thinking I've got no control of my arms and my legs. It didn't help that I was coming out with a dog on a silly Pinks diamond-studded lead. But yes, I was very nervous and I felt like a fan in the crowd looking at somebody else walking on. It was a very strange and surreal experience. And once again, Lim is chipping away, being offered opportunities. It's a 15-dart leg for Paul Lim.
Jason's had no answer. He hasn't been able to answer back.
The game is just creeping away from him, and I've been involved in similar games where you walk away and you've been defeated and you just don't know how it happened, because you weren't a million miles away from your opponent, but every time they get there, they hit.
135.
Kai approves. Did see Shane McGurk in the crowd a few moments ago, and if you asked him who he wants to win, I can't think of a situation where he says he wants Paul to win. Shane surely wants to face Jason.
We did explain, we did say, Helen and I, when we did our little interview with him after the game, you know, who would you prefer? He said he didn't mind, but I said he knows probably the only one of these two that the crowd wouldn't be with him would be if Paul Lim got through. And he's got to watch this and just in case. And try and work out a way how he's going to deal with this pace of game, should Paul Lim go on and win it. Brandon's not throwing as quickly at all as he was in the Duff game. I'm sure Duff's watching this somewhere going, I can't believe what's happening.
Bullseye for 4-0.
He did a 1:48 yesterday, but he hasn't even looked like doing 28 today, has he? Chalk and cheese between the 2 days for Jason Brandon.
These kinds of finishes Paul has made look easy. It's a surreal situation, but Paul Lim is 1 set away from a whitewash win against the impressive American Jason Brandon.
Welcome back to Lakeside in the WDF World Darts Championships. Scott, you're watching that game, you're co-commentating on that game. I'm out of words. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, the guy's won 12 legs in a row. It's what?
I don't know what to say anymore. I think there's every dart player watching this in the country wants to be playing Paul Lim at this moment in time, but we don't know what it feels like to be up there. We don't know what it is with the Paul Lim having the crowd effect behind him. There's a massive Paul Lim effect in here, and he's being really clean and neat at the end of each leg. So if you're not getting there and going out, he's just having it, but he's just having it his own way. And I think the harder Jason is trying to find a way, and he's trying different things. He's trying running around the circle, he's trying to throw quickly, but everything he's trying at the moment is not working.
Right. Shane McGurk, our other finalist, is sitting watching this game. What on earth must he be thinking?
He'll be looking at the averages that are going on here, and he'll be looking at the averages that he's been doing all week and thinking happy days. I would be.
No, but it's a totally different game. We look at the last two games. Jarno Bottenberg last night. If you look at the player's face behind Paul Lim, just looking at the sky, and it was exactly the same with Gary Stone as well. Their expressions behind Paul Lim while he's doing his thing is, oh my word, I don't know what to do.
The fear of this stage is the not knowing what's coming. With whoever, if he gets through, plays him, they know what's coming. They know what's coming. They've got plenty of time to try and work it out. And the only way to work it out is to get there before him and hit that double. But it's not as easy as it sounds. It looks like it should be a piece of cake to turf him out, but it isn't. It isn't. He is using all that expertise, the experience. He's a wily old fox. That's what he is.
Just astonishing. We're going to go back to the stage and enjoy the conclusion of this match.
And on current form, it will conclude in 3 legs' time. Leg 1 painted a potentially very different story. Jason Brandon took a 15-darter with Lim back on 279. The thought process then was, has Lim run out of gas? Since then, a dozen straight legs against the American. You don't want to say a player looked beaten, but Jason Brandon is not far off, looking resigned to his fate. Paul Lim knows there's still work to be done, but he is making this World Championship semi-final look so easy. Scott, if you're in Brandon's shoes, just how on earth do you start plotting this comeback?
I was trying to think that when he was 2-0 up. Now that he's 4-0 up, I think you have to try and find some freedom, throw caution to the wind, and really try something different.
It's difficult to say that it's a harsh scoreline because Lim's been very clinical at the back end of legs, but all 12 of them that he's won, Brandon has been on a possible finish. The highest points total he had was 146. He's kind of always been there on your 32s, 20s, 10s, kind of these makeable 2-dart out shots as well.
You feel that the way back in is to win 1 or 2 legs in a row and try and lift yourself. It needs a spark. It needs something to remind you that you can still do it. Because at the moment it looks like he's being steamrolled by the slowest steamroller in the West.
And because it's slow, it'll feel agonising.
140.
You just start overthinking. Now we're looking at this situation here. Brandon's been in a similar situation to this in a couple of legs. But Lim has then popped up with a 180, a 177 to get himself back into the leg. You have to be thinking about one leg at a time in your own leg.
Last time Brandon looked comfortable in a leg was the one that clinched the 3rd set. He missed 6 darts at a double despite scoring a 171. Lim stepped up, wanted tops, single 1-7, double 16. Good night.
And those bread and butter shots Lim is making look very simple indeed. See, Jason Brandon's just taken a split second longer than he was last night. It's like he's having a little think. I've got to get this, dunk, and then throws.
must be a horrible sinking feeling.
Every year when we come to Lakeside, there's a game that there seems to be just a hole in the middle of the stage and you get swallowed up. And I thought that one had gone this afternoon with Francois Chewan.
Number 5. Yes, it is, Paul.
Yeah, that's there, Paul. It's unusual that Lim's been missing with 3 darts in his hand on a finish. "12 darts in this leg." Even the Power Ranger in the crowd is scratching his chin.
Slap bang in the middle.
I'm sure Paul Lim can't believe what's happening here.
Hundreds in Lakeside can't. The thousands and thousands of viewers in the UK and around the world probably can't.
You missed 12 darts at a leg. You think you're getting yourself back on your feet again with a 140. Up steps Paul in with another 180. Fair play to Jason Brandon. Another 140.
This is on course to be Paul's lowest average of the week, and yet his most convincing win. Average 90 against Moreno Blom, and then it's a hat-trick of 85s in matches against Kai Van Leung, Gary Stone and Jarno Bottenberg last night.
Do you think Shane McGurk will be getting a call from his mate Brendan Dolan this evening or tomorrow morning?
Quite possibly. Or maybe do you think Shane will be making the call to Brendan?
I think if it was me, I'd be making the call.
Paul Lim calling for double 16. Getting double 16. He is one leg away from an astonishing run to a Lakeside final.
100.
Brandon's body language reminiscent of Francois Chewan this afternoon.
Such a likeable fella as well, Jason Brandon, and you just don't like seeing this happening to the nice guys.
his departure is looking a certainty, but I'm sure he'll be back. He's been a brilliant addition to the tournament. He's flying the flag for the USA, a nation that loves their darts.
Kai Van Loon leading the orchestra.
I'd love to go to a Kai Van Loon exhibition, actually. That'd be a lot of fun.
Cheers, Brendan, my old mate. Thanks for the text. I knew you would be. I knew you would be. Those Irish, they stick together, you know.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys, is Brendan.
Sure is. He sure is.
Double top.
.102 for Paul Lim. He's picking out the trebles here, all the ones that he doesn't want. Finally has a terrible chuck.
Double set.
When he's 4 sets up.
Oh, hello, Jason. Well, the rot's been stopped, and just for the sake of Jason, you're glad it has. 14 legs in a row won by Lim. It's the tiniest consolation.
Who knows? Could be the spark. The next 2 or 3 minutes will tell us. Could be the spark for Paul Lim to continue on.
140.
A very difficult game as a commentator to try and get your head round into
100.
why it's going wrong and what's going wrong. My dear old mate Sean McGowan now, former Republic of Ireland captain who taught me an awful lot.
60.
Lovely to hear from you, Sean. We know you stick together. You're the mighty leader.
How many more Irish darts players are going to text you?
It's kind of nice, mate. It's kind of nice. Is he going to go 180 and leave tops here? Yes, he is. Paul Lim is 40 points away from
100.
the WDF Lakeside World Championship final.
And he's been getting better as the game has gone on.
It's not going to be this time. Crowd on their edge of their seats. I think Paul wanted that to go. You know, he was willing it for him behind.
116.
It's a quality setup.
3 more match darts for Paul Lim.
He eyes up double 10. The tension of match darts. It ain't over until it's over. Didn't have the dart gripped properly. Fair play to Jason. It's about as hopeless a situation as you could ask for in a game of darts, and yet he's digging in there. And he's got the throw to register a set.
In the last 2 minutes, I think Paul Lim has just realised what it feels like to be Jason Brandon. They were nervy old darts, weren't they? They were nervy old match darts.
First leg in the match where Paul has had darts at a double and not won it.
And what a time to do it as well. What a time.
100.
Ironic, we put the Scottish hats up. As Ross Montgomery texts me also. We know the Scottish watch, Mr. Montgomery.
Come on, Jason.
With Lim back on 266, what we don't need Jason to be thinking and having is a deja vu moment here, because he's done this a few times in this match and then been the one to fluff his lines. Is he finally going to get over the finishing line to get a set?
Treble 18. Well, they are the times you can miss big numbers when your opponent's not on a finish, but 74 might only get 1 dart at a double.
But this is where Paul Lim has been jumping on a double treble visit and sticking him under all sorts of pressure. And here we go, it's the deja vu moment. He's doing it again. A leg that he doesn't look that he's even in.
133.
You look over your shoulder and he's level on the scoreboard.
Brandon in the background looked baffled at the choice, and I'm inclined to agree with him. Double top.
34.
Even the greats of the sport can suffer with nerves.
15 for the bullseye.
For the final. The support ramps up. And the ball-limb dream rolls on to a Lakeside final. Tomorrow could be one of the most astonishing stories our sport has ever produced. Credit where it's due to Jason Brandon. He has been a breath of fresh air. He has been a credit to his nation this week. But it seems destined that this year Lakeside belongs to the 70-year-old. And it is only 29-year-old Irishman Shane McGurk who stands in the way of a Singapore Slinger World Championship.